Good afternoon. Welcome to the board meeting of the Teachers Retirement Board, November 16th, 2023. I'll start by calling the roll. Brian Berge.
Brian Berge participating remotely due to incapacity and childcare that you may periodically hear in the background.
Thank you. Thomas Brown.
I'm here, Patricia. Good afternoon.
Anthony Giordano.
Tony Giordano attending remotely on behalf of Gregory Faulkner, also due to caretaker responsibilities.
Okay, thank you. Allison Hirsch.
John Dorsett, designee for control, Brad Lander, in Ms. Hirsch's absence.
Thank you. David Kazansky.
Present.
Victoria Lee.
Present.
We have a quorum. Next on the agenda is an update on TRS operations, and Kavita Kanwar is going to give us that update.
Good afternoon, everyone. TRS has updated the individual limits for member contributions to the TDA program in 2024. The IRS recently announced a general limit will be $23,000 next year, which is a $500 increase from last year. And the age catch-up limits remain at $7,500. The service catch-up is $3,000 with a $15,000 limit in the lifetime. During November, TRS also sent an email blast to non-contributing TDA members to make them aware of our TDA program. TRS is in process of generating nearly 126,000 account statements for the third quarter of 2023. Members will be notified via email blast as these are made available for viewing on the TRS website. In addition, account statements were posted online or mailed to 64,000 retired members for their TDA accounts and 13,000 TDA beneficiary participants. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavita.
Thank you, Kavita.
Next is an update from the actuary.
I'd like to update the board on a special death audit I requested TRS staff to perform, and Patricia and Ted kindly agreed to do it. As you know, most retirement systems, TRS included, do monthly death checks on pensioners receiving checks, just to make sure the checks are going to people who are alive. But what's less common is for retirement systems to check the inactives who currently aren't receiving checks to see if they're alive. So the term vesteds, the future joint survivor bennies. As actuaries, we hold liabilities for all the future payments for these people. And if some of these members have predeceased or have died and we don't know about it, there's liabilities we hold and contributions that employers make on behalf of those people who are no longer there. So we asked staff, we gave staff a file of 33,000 of these inactives, and they ran the checks, and here are the results. So as of June 30th, 2022, which is the valuation that determines the contributions for this fiscal year, we found 26 term vested members that were deceased and 115 future bennies that weren't flagged in the data as deceased. The impact of that on this fiscal year's employer contribution is a one-time reduction of $12.8 million. Now that's not a lot of money in the scheme of things. Your annual contribution is like 3.1 billion, but it's still approximately 20% of your administrative expenses. So it's still, yeah, so 12.8 million is still some money. So I just wanted to give kudos to your staff for doing the extra work to reduce the contribution. And I also want to say the number we found is a lot less than I expected. And, you know, usually when you don't check these people, you find more. But it turns out TRS actually on an annual basis does do these checks. So the data was remarkably clean. So that's why we found so few people, but the few we did still reduce the contribution by 12.8 million. So happy to answer questions if there are any.
That's great.
Marek, I'd just like to thank you for undertaking this effort, and I'd like to thank Patricia and her staff for participating. I think it's a credit to Patricia and her staff that the data was as clean as it was. And of course, to the extent further savings are achieved, that is always welcome at this time.
Thank you.
Just want to thank Andrew Bradford, our risk director, for working with us on the team effort, and happy to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But Mary, can I ask, so you did this across all of the retirement systems, and what
We're
was
in the
the total
process of,
saving?
we're in the process of doing it, so I haven't reported the results for
Oh,
other
okay.
systems and
Then
haven't.
I'll wait to hear.
Good,
Thanks.
thank you. And this is an ongoing process then, correct?
Should be.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, next is the executive director's report, and the first item on the report is the next meeting, which has been suggested that the next regular board meeting of the Teachers Retirement Board be held on the third Thursday of the month, December 21st, 2023. So you should mark your calendars.
Thank you, Patricia.
All right, and the next resolution is the revised asset allocation policy.
Please skip to the resolve.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees adopts the attached revised asset allocation policy, which shall be incorporated into TRS's investment policy statement. And be it further resolved that the asset allocation policy shall continue to be reviewed periodically and as prudent in accordance with the investment policy statement.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept the revised asset allocation policy?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Kazansky, and is there a second? Second. Well, thank you, Mr. Dorset. Any discussion? Great, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of this resolution, the revised asset allocation policy, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? This resolution is passed. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the calendar. And the first item on the calendar is the approval of the following minutes. September 7th, 2023 investment meeting minutes, October 5th, 2023 investment meeting minutes, October 26th, 2023 board meeting minutes.
We'll take a vote on this. Do I hear a motion to accept the September 7th, 2023 investment meeting minutes, October 5th, 2023 investment meeting minutes, and October 26th, 2023 board meeting minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Kazansky. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Dorset. So we're voting for the approval of the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Any abstention? Let the record show that the approval of the minutes has passed.
Thank you. Next are the calendar items. You all received an electronic version of the calendar.
Please waive the reading of the calendar.
Thank you.
And I guess this is the time to vote to accept the calendar. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Kazansky. And is there a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Dorset. Any discussion about the calendar items? Great. Those in favor to accept the calendar items, please say aye.
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 Those say nay. Any abstentions? And the calendar items have been approved. Thank you.
Next is other business. And there has been a request to reschedule the May 2nd, 2024 investment meeting to May 9th, 2024.
So, Brian, I just wanted to alert you to the fact that that is the same day as a NYCER's regular meeting. And I don't know if that would cause some difficulty to Mopi.
It's an investment meeting, the TRS one.
Yes.
Unless we lose even more people and I have to split myself in half on a regular basis, we should be able to make that work. Because
Yeah, I think we would be able to make that work in the controller's office. So I'm comfortable moving forward with that date. And if for some reason that's a problem, we'll come back to you within the week to let you know. But I think Allison and I can split up that day.
Thank you, John. So let the record show that we're tentatively, or
I think we should pass it, and then if I need to come back.
okay, so we will reschedule the May 2nd, 2024 investment meeting to May 9th. So please mark your calendars. If there is a conflict, John will let us know. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And the next item on the agenda is questions or comments from the public.
Seeing none, anyone on Zoom land?
Okay,
Great, I think we're at the time that we'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Kazansky.
Second.
And thank you, Mr. Dorser, for your second. Any discussion? All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? We are officially adjourned. Thank you, everyone.